All the work that I've put in, all the work I've done, all the base work that I've laid throughout the years, this is what it sums up to.
You've gotten out well, continued with steps 4 through 11, driving well with torso and hips rising together as they should. Now, at some point when velocity is nearly maximum, the trunk should be directed more upright. The pelvis should be pushed farther forward. You're now getting taller. Now, relaxation always has a place in running, but this is not a time to cruise. If you're running a short sprint and you're trying to hit top speed. Usain Bolt says at this point he drops his shoulders and swings from the hips. He says shoulders down, knees up, shoulders down, knees up. I like the whip from the hip cue. Now there is also a bounciness to top speed, reflecting some good things happening to allow projecting from your hips. What I mean by that is, yes, you're supposed to have good glute recruitment when you're running, but all the glute recruitment in the world won't give you a good performance if from your knee and or ankle they're soft, collapsing, unstable. It won't allow you to project from your hips as you should. And we'll go into that a little deeper further into the video and in my blogs on my youthspeedcoach.com website. We go deeper into that. Now, bounciness is like a string being tied to the top of the head, pulling you up. John Smith will say, chin down, head neutral, chin down, because bouncing should not have your chest and head lifting. It should not have your back arching, okay? You're bouncing, but you're going that way. Now, sprint coach, sprint authority Lawrence Seagrave says tight tummy, flat back, feeling like the hips and butt are tucked under, pelvis looking up in what he says is a very stable position. Stay tuned and we'll talk about some top speed running. Let's watch lane 6 here. After the first 11 steps, which for many is at about the 15-meter mark, velocity is high and the hips and torso should have risen a good amount. At this point, the athlete can do a little more driving if it can be done within an appropriate rate of rising. The driving here blends well into the transition toward top speed. Forcing a lean negatively affects foot placement, the way the body is projected, and of course, the rest of the race. Let us watch Elaine Thompson here at regular speed executing a great race.
Thompson, hurrah! Richardson being left behind, and out in front, the Olympic champion does it again.
Trayvon Bromell in lane 5 here is also able to extend his driving a little, then blend his driving into his transition.
Title in Portland back in
Regular
2016.
speed.
And then the injury on the track in Rio. All that rehab, all that road back, both mentally and physically, here now to Eugene. And blasts out of the blocks. Trayvon Bromell leaves Noah Lyles in his wake. And Trayvon Bromell barreling.
On the other hand, Christian Coleman here gets out and drives very well, then more quickly becomes more upright as he transitions toward top speed. In other words, he doesn't seem to drive for as long of a time as Elaine Thompson and Trayvon Bromell. It is important to realize, though, that he hits top speed about here. In other words, sprinters must be able to increase velocity while upright. In lane 4, Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce is also upright sooner than Thompson and Bromell, but velocity is still building. Fundamental to this is having good front side mechanics. During top speed sprinting, great sprinters from a high knee position apply nearly 80% of their effort into the 6 to 8 inches of front side ground phase that you see highlighted by the red box. Examining the sprinter that is in front, as the toe is leaving the ground, you see that the thigh is in line with the torso. And shortly after the toe leaves the ground, the thigh travels a little bit beyond being in line with the torso before it begins to move forward in a positive direction. In addition, an erect trunk allows maximum forces from the front side and the rear side of the stride. When communicating with athletes about technique, Coach Stuart McMillan of Altus made a great observation in that cues related to foot on the ground, how the foot or hand feels against something, works better with some athletes, while some relate better to limbs in space, like the hands, the knees, the feet. So for instance, during upright running, some athletes may respond better to being told to push down into the ground, feel your foot going straight down, step down, recover up straight down, while some who may not even be able to feel their feet hit the ground much of the time may respond better to being told to drive the thigh up and or hand up into space. Drive your hand up, 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 and this may bring the whole system up. So in other words, for whatever portion of the race you're trying to help your athletes through, try to use the cues that work best for the athletes you're working with. The last top speed technical aspects I'll address concerns what is typically taught using two basic drills: the A skip that you see here and the B skip that you see here. You do want the foot at a good height in front of the body as you see here, hence the high knee part of the drills. But when the high knee movement stops and the thigh is driven down by the hip and glute, the knee naturally opens. The lower leg continues to swing forward. The leg then comes back hard under the hip through a scissoring action, sweeping under the body. Having athletes to paw and claw with the lower leg uses the hamstrings in an inefficient manner. Here is a demonstration with an explanation. There are no good shortcuts. Get in shape enough to be able to run fast in training without getting hurt. Obviously, take your time to get warmed up and stretched properly, as well as cooling down after workouts. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for quick and easy access to my videos. Clicking on subscribe doesn't cost you anything. If you have it right now on full screen, you can point to my profile picture and click subscribe. Check out the blogs on my StudentAthlete.net website, where I go through sprinting from start to finish, a lot of detailed stuff, as well as blogs on speed training for basketball, football, and soccer. See you next video.